Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining and being here this evening, giving up some of your spare time to be able to come and to visit. This is a unique opportunity with our group coaching programs, is to connect with the community and realize one of the thing I hear back mostly from clients is it's just great to know that I'm not alone. That there's other people that are walking through this journey just like me. They're at different stages than me, but that's okay. We're all headed down the same road. So it's great that you're here and hope that this adds a unique dimension to your journey, your progress through your coaching programs to help you continue to make progress along your journey. I just put some information in the chat about ways to connect with our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that. We're constantly putting in content and podcasts. We've launched podcasts this month to add a different dynamic with me and Lorianne talking back and forth about the different topics that we're discussing that week. So we have this new weekly podcast. We have the videos to help you to feel that inspiration and motivation to keep moving forward and break through any walls that you might be feeling. Let me share my screen again. And for those that, sorry, I hit the button. There it is. Now you can see. For those that may not have worked with me directly or new or listening to the recording or whatever, wherever you're finding our content, my name is Brian Halverson. I've been in the financial industry for a little more than 2 decades, about 24 years, helping individuals, families, and businesses to start winning with their money, right? Get their financial feet back underneath them and build or rebuild with your financial peace, whichever the case might be. Sometimes we're building it for the first time. Sometimes we're rebuilding it after a disaster or financial or relational or a life event. And so my goal is to help you to get back on your feet financially. I was a Ramsey certified, a Ramsey preferred coach. Did their financial coach master training. Did taught his Financial Peace University program 16 times over an 8 year period. And I love just helping people to understand the world of money and how to start winning with it. There's a lot of resources that we provide for free on our website. You can go to bemoneystrong.com. There's blogs and articles, insight articles, we call them, from real client sessions where I anonymize them, but I take the principles and the learnings and then I put them in an insight article so that other people can learn from that circumstance. So this family had a $15,000 emergency. What did they do? This family lost their job. This family got an inheritance. This family is trying to figure out how to help their children to learn how to manage their money. And so all of those are resources. Some of them are posted on our website. So go to our website, bemoneystrong.com, or check out our videos on YouTube to learn more. I have a team of coaches. Some of these might seem more familiar to you than others. So I have the privilege of working with some amazing people. As I got so busy and couldn't help everybody, I brought in additional coaches to be able to help and support more and more people because there's uh, a ton of people that need our help, need help with moving forward in their financial lives. The financial, I call it a journey. If you're familiar with me, I use a lot of analogies, just trying to help us understand. And if my brain can understand one thing, I can apply it to something new that I may not quite understand. So I love nature. So my backgrounds are pictures that I've taken in my adventures. And I compare our financial mastery journey to this mountain climb. And I'm hiking up this mountain, and personally, I hate switchbacks, so I hate even looking at that picture. Some of my worst hikes are just, oh, I hate this. This wasn't I just here? Yeah, but 10 feet up. Oh, but I had to go half a mile to get 10 feet up. Whatever. So, switchbacks are my nemesis. But we are moving forward, and sometimes it feels that way with finances. Is I'm trying to move forward, and am I making any progress? Well, yes, it is a long journey climbing this mountain, and I wish it was a one-way road. Isn't there an escalator? Couldn't I just like helicopter drop me off? It is a long road, and some stages are harder than others. Some take longer to get through, and unfortunately, like the shoots and ladder game I played when I was a kid, sometimes you make progress up, and sometimes you slide back down the mountain. And I've been there myself several times where I've moved up and then slid down and moved up and slid down. But once you know how to move forward, no matter what happens to you in life, you can get back up and keep moving forward. You can rebuild. I'm a testament of that, and I help my clients to accomplish that too. But these are the 6 stages. Stage one is the hardest. It's crisis mode. My debt is growing. That backpack is getting heavier and heavier because I just can't seem to keep up with it. So stage one, crisis mode, it is it is the most emotionally draining. It's just hard, right? But it's the quickest to end. How do I end it? You make the decision. A lot easier said than done. But I'm going to move to survival mode. That is where I'm breaking even. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. How do I do that? I got to make my income match my expenses. At stage one, it's the reverse, and my expenses are higher than my income. So I've just got to cut, right? I can either raise my income to live paycheck to paycheck, or I can reduce my expenses to live paycheck to paycheck, or some version, and I meet in the middle somewhere. And I'm now, at least I'm not getting any worse. I'm not slipping down the mountain even more, right? Stop the slide and get to survival mode, live paycheck to paycheck. So that then stage three is that stability mode where actually I keep doing it, right? What got me to stage two will get you to stage three. You just keep reducing the expenses, you keep growing the income, and all of a sudden it tips. And that seesaw was like this, and now it's stage two is like this, and stage three is like this. And all of a sudden now my income is greater than my expenses. Now I'm got some margin. I've got some discretionary income. I've got some spending money, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually in the positive, and that's a big thing. And for some of my clients, it's taken months to get to a positive budget, but they finally get that to stage three. I'm stable. Okay, now let's don't stop there. Keep going. For some people, they like this is the best it's ever been in my entire life. I'm going to stay here for a while. Well, don't get. I know it's tempting. You get the stability mode. It's a heck of a lot better than crisis and survival mode. But you're not done with the mountain. You're not down in the valley, but you're not at the peak either. You're in the middle somewhere. So keep going. We got to build some more momentum. We're going to set some goals. We're going to take that margin, that discretionary income, that spending money, and we're going to put to use. What are we going to do? Right? Do I need to put it towards my debt snowball? Do I need to put it to maximize my saving, my emergency fund? Is it time to invest? Right? That's fuel in the tank, that extra money. I want to maximize it, and then I want to put it to use as much as possible. I want to build that momentum. Security mode is increasing that pace and protecting the assets that we've worked so hard to build. So insurance and all of these wills and estates and things that are so important. Watching your beneficiaries, right? That security mode is really important to protect yourself and protect all you've built. And then we finally get to legacy mode, where I now have that financial freedom. I finally am at the top of that mountain, and I can give back and pay it forward and help those that are coming behind me. Now, this is something new, so I'll put this in a link so you can actually click it instead of just seeing it. But there's a new assessment that we've just made, so I'd love to invite you to try it out. We put it in our chat. There's the link. So if you go to our website, bemoneystrong.com/stage-quiz, so just click the link. It's easier than typing it in. Go to that, and you can answer a couple of questions. I think it's only 8 questions, and it'll give you the basis of what is your financial stage. So how are you doing in that financial stage? So take a minute. I'll give you a second to complete that, and that will help to give us we're going to actually use it later today. So let me stop sharing and give you a second. And take that stage because I want you to know where you are. If you don't know where you are on the mountain, it's hard to know where to go next. I'll share my screen as I just navigated it to it. So take a minute and answer those questions. How well do you do monthly income, and how well do your monthly income and expenses align? Do you follow a budget? On the next one, emergency fund. How many months of essential expenses could you cover with liquid savings right now? I'm just going to answer some of these and I'll show you how it looks. The debt level and management. How much debt do you carry and how well is it under control? Ooh, maybe I'm struggling with that one. Okay. It's not right or wrong. This is just a history lesson. This is just to help you to know where the heck am I so that I know where I am on the mountain and I can start climbing. Income stability and growth. How stable and diversified is your household income? Maybe that's a strength. right? So answer the questions honestly, not what you wish they were, but what they actually are. Insurance and risk management. Are you covered for health, life, disability, and property? And are you retirement and say and investing? Are you consistently saving and investing for the long term? Well, if I'm deep in debt, maybe not yet. Maybe I'm still working on my savings account. That's okay. Again, it's not right or wrong. It's just this. Where am I now? Your net worth trajectory. Is your overall financial position improving over time? Financial behavior and engagement. How actively and positively do you engage with your finances day to day? Are you aware of it and facing it, or do you hide from it? And then put your info in there and hit results, and it'll tell me, okay, and there's my scores. So I can go back and see, how did I do? Oh, I got scored a 3 out of 5 on this one out of 5, or 4 out of 5. That's pretty good. I'm doing pretty good in that level. And it'll tell you, where am I in those 6 stages? Am I in crisis mode, survival mode, stability mode, growth mode, security mode, or legacy mode? So is that helpful? I know that's new for, I don't think that's brand new, hot off the presses. So is that helpful for you all to see? You got your own, right? Did anybody have any trouble or anything I can help with troubleshooting?
I think I
Barb,
answered.
you answered one wrong?
Oh, no, I answered a lot wrong because it gave me a different one than I think I should have. So oopsie.
Okay. You can always go back and retake it. If you do it again and it's still weird, let me know and we'll troubleshoot it together. Make sure that it is working. Did it work, Evan and Adrian? Did it work for you both?
Yep, mine worked. I got it completed.
Got it working? Okay. Did it met your expectations of what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, it does. Um, Covers pretty much the main things, and it gave a good range. They were all realistic, so yeah, it was good.
Okay, good. All right. Let's go back to this then. So you now know your stage, or take it again, right? Take it again and take it again. This is one that you can take frequently because as you progress, hopefully you're like, hey, I'm finally out of that stage and I moved to the next one, or something happened and I slid back down. Like I said, sometimes it feels like chutes and ladders. All right. And then this one is the 10 steps to financial success. These are the stages that I will, not stages, wrong word. It's like financial order of operations. What do I do now that I know what my stage is? Okay, let's now use this as a different way of looking at it. Where do I, how do I progress through the stages? Step one, financial order of operations. You got to create and live a budget. If that's weak, and we're going to talk about that later today, then it's really hard to hit the rest of the stages. You might, if you're not living and creating and living a budget, then your stage right now might just be an accident, right? So how do I get out of it? Intentionality. Step two, optimize your bank account. Step three, to manage your risks, insurance, diversification, wills, trust, identity theft, protection. Right? That's part of the topics in security mode. Step four, get your highest deductible amount saved up. Right? That's your smallest emergency fund. What's your smallest, or what's your sorry, not your highest deductible amount? Could be your house, could be your car, could be health. So I need a couple $1,000 in the account just to keep the wolves at bay. Now, if you have a high deductible health savings and your highest deductible is 10 grand, okay, maybe that's a little too high. Right. So it's somewhere one, two, $3,000. It's just enough to take the edge off. So if something hits the fan, I've got an emergency fund to cover that. Then I go into step five, and I get crazy about getting my debt get rid of my debt, pay it off. All non-mortgage debt. So you have a rental property, and it's included. So make sure you're paying off all of your debts. Step six, save 25% of your income into a high yield savings account for emergencies. 25% of your income is a 3 month emergency fund. We want you to get to at least 3 months of emergency. Sometimes people will go longer or more. I mean, like 3 to 6 months. I have a new client, or not a new, I have a client who just lost his job. He got laid off. been working together for a couple of years, and just this is the second layoff that he's received. And talk about going through the emotions, the roller coaster. He's just hit 30, and really frustrated. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm second time. I just really hate these layoffs. So it's interesting to watch because life will teach you lessons. And in the past, I asked her, "What are you learning through this experience? Never let a good disaster go to waste." And the wife, who in the past didn't really hold to the budgets, he said, "We really got to do that budget thing."
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Life has taught you. Like, I really want a big emergency fund. Yeah. Before I was like, spend it all. We're gonna have experiences. We're gonna have fun. We got two little kids. Live a little. And now from this experience, she said, I think I'm going to go back and grow that emergency fund because I never want to go through this again. So often life teaches us, yeah, we need to watch that. Security mode is more important, especially after life events. Step 7, invest 15% of your income into your retirement. Step 8 is help your kids pay for college, or training, trade school, whatever their for additional education to advance their careers and income potential. Step 9, pay off your house. And step 10, to be a good steward and live your dream life, whatever that means for you. I've got one of, love this guy down in Florida, and he has almost $1 million in his retirement account right now. And I thought, that's great. What are you going to do when you retire? I just want to be the crossing guard down at the school. That is awesome. You're going to be the richest crossing guard out there, right? It's awesome. You don't have to live your dream life. Does not necessarily mean I'm on some yacht in the Mediterranean. It might just be the crossing guard that is free. So live your dream life, whatever that means. So any thoughts, questions, or comments about the 10 financial order of operations, these steps?
What does optimize your bank accounts mean?
Great question, Laura. If I go to the bank, I could just get a plain Jane vanilla checking account or a savings account. That's good if you're just getting started. But as you get the hang of that, now it's time to level it up and optimize it. Like my daughter, she just went to college, and I said, okay, we got a checking account. It blew her mind when I said, okay, now you need a savings account. What? I have to manage 2 accounts? Holy smokes, Dad. I can't even do the one. We're going to get there. It's baby step. Walk with me here. It's going to be okay. So, okay, it's checking accounts, savings accounts. Well, I can get that bank account at the local bank or credit union, but the interest rates aren't that great. So you can get a high yield savings account online a lot of times. Some banks will have it, but most of the big banks don't. They'll pay you 0.1% if you're lucky. So I can go to a high yield savings account. Many of them are online, and I connect it to my brick and mortar account, and I have my high yield savings account. It's FDIC insured, but now that's where I put my savings, my emergency fund, my 3 to 6 months of expenses. I want to get 3.5% over there, not 0.1 over here. So there's an optimization strategy. Also in the number of accounts that we have. Some people, like I said, just start with a checking and a savings account. That's bank accounts 101. Bank accounts 2.0, right? 201. The next level up is the number of checking accounts, the number of savings accounts. And I've done that. We can do a whole lesson. I've done that in some of the recordings in the past, was bank accounts 101. And we talk about bill pay accounts and lifestyle accounts and sinking funds and emergency funds and seasonality funds. And wow, I might have to get a few more accounts around here. Don't take that too far, right? I might have several accounts, several checking, savings, several savings accounts to facilitate my goals. But did have one client. I think personally, I mean, I'm a nerd, and I have a lot of accounts, but I think he went a little too far. And he showed me he had this booklet, like where normally people put business cards or like baseball cards, right? I mean, when I was a kid, I had the baseball card sleeves. He showed me, Brian, check this out. And he opens it up, and he had 25 debit cards. I was like, holy smokes, man. You better get your Sharpie out to know this is the vacation fund, and this is the Christmas fund, and this is I'm like, I can agree. Like, why do we have 7 of them? 7 vacations. Okay, whatever. You better just keep track of it. You're the bank's nightmare when you lose that folio thing and you have to close 25 debit cards. The fraudster's dream client. So any strength can be overutilized. So be careful with that. But there is and I can go deeper on that one on optimizing our bank accounts of How many checking, how many savings, how many sinking funds, how many seasonality funds? That's a unique topic based on the individual. If you have a seasonal income, I have a seasonality fund that is not part of the emergency fund because seasonality is not an emergency. You knew that was coming. I have some clients that are in agriculture. Well, the winter always comes and your agriculture shuts down. So therefore, we better be ready for that. That's not an emergency. So it's a different version of a season. I've been a sinking fund. That help answer questions, Laura?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. Any other questions, thoughts, comments on any of that? The steps? No. This is there's a lot of different frameworks, right? My teaching, my coaching is about finding a framework that I can fit within, right? If I have a map and I know where I am and where I want to go, then I can find my way of getting there. So the 6 stages gives me a framework. The 10 um, financial order of operations gives me a framework. This is another framework, but this is a lot bigger than just money. This to me is the 5 pillars of happiness. That sounds pretty elevated. It's 5 areas of your life to achieve what I would call a happy and balanced life. And it's not about the money. It really never was about the money. Even my financial coaching, money is a means to an end. It's what I can do with it. It's the happiness that I can achieve and create with that money. But it's not the only pillar. There's 5 pillars. And usually clients come to me on that first one. The most where most people start is that financial pillar. But don't forget the others, the spiritual, the relational, the physical, and the intellectual. And sometimes when we figure out the financial, the others will lift. Or when I work on my physical, the money gets better. And right things when what do they say? The rising tide lifts all ships. So you think about this for a holistic life. And I have set goals with clients, depending on the circumstances, where we set a relational goal. I had a client, a business client, who's really struggling with his business, and so we're spending a lot of time in the intellectual goal and trying to heal. But we got to get to budgeting. We got to get the money. We got to raise capital. We got to make this business. I said, no, you are holding your business back because of what's going on inside. So we've got to heal the emotions, the what's going on inside, and then your business will take care of itself. It's that indirect pain. My hip hurts. Why? Because your shoes are messed up. It has nothing to do with my shoes. No, it does. My back is a derivative of my feet. Everything's connected. So think about these 5 pillars as you're moving forward with your financial life. Don't forget the other pillars because those are just as important to have that holistic and balanced life. Now, normally we would go into I'd love to talk about last month and see how you did on last month's topic, which was the goal posts keep moving, right? It's never enough. And as soon as I attain one level, I set another one and then another one and another. It's constant escalationism. So we talked about that last time. And just quickly, because I want to get to tonight's topic. But if you were here last month, think about what did you do? Did you decide to stop moving the goalposts and say, this is it? This is enough? What did you try out? What did you learn? What did you do as a result of attending last month's session? And if you weren't here, there's always something to celebrate. So share a success or a win with us so that we can celebrate with you because celebration is the fastest path to success. And habitualizing that success is one of the psychology principles of the psychology of success. So you can put it in the chat or come off of mute and share your win or your learning from last month. How did this last month go?
The the last month for our family was a break even. Uh, we didn't spend any money just because we know that we've got tires coming up for cars. We've got a vehicle. The air conditioner is no longer blowing cold.
Well,
So that's going to be coming up. So right now we're just keeping an eye on our expenses and putting it in the budget for July or August and just planning ahead. That's where our money will go.
that actually is a huge win, Adrian. Thank you for sharing that. Some people will look break it even as a huge win, depending on the circumstances. If your AC goes out, yeah, breaking even is a big win. I had another client. It was tis the season, right? They can't keep up with the heat. He just had to replace his furnace. AC was $8,000. Hopefully that's yours is cheaper, but you never know. So breaking even, good. And I love what you said. We know what July and August budgets are going to be. We're prepping for them, right? Now, okay, we're going through some circumstances, but you didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, "Well, here comes the debt. We're going back to crisis mode. It is going to grow this one." Right? Sometimes when you're sliding down that mountain, you just grab everything you can and try to limit it as much as possible. What were you going to say?
Yeah, fortunately, it's in our F-150, not the house. So,
Oh, the F-150. You just replaced the engine on that guy.
yeah,
Oh, that was in the house, but still, like, oh,
the,
now I'm mad.
you'd think if they replaced the engine, they'd replace the air conditioner unit, right? But no,
Oh,
the air conditioner is probably original back to 2005, as old as the truck.
well, I'm glad it's
Pretty
not your house.
pretty noisy when you turn it on, so that'll probably be a replacement compressor, I imagine.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's that's where
probably
they
thousand bucks is
yeah, that's
what I'm guessing.
not an $8,000. I think it was in your house,
Yeah.
so I'm glad it's not your house. Otherwise, you'd be sweating a lot more in the session. Guess that's what they call the old what do they call that? My AC is 260. I got the 260 AC. That's two windows down, driving 60 miles an hour. That's your
Yeah.
AC. Drive faster. Don't. Yeah, it's hard when you stop at a red light. Oh well. Good luck with that and fixing it. And thanks for sharing that win. Breaking even. That's awesome. Right? Survival mode this month. What other successes, wins, or learnings, or anything that anybody wants to share? Evan or Laura, you're welcome to share or put it in the chat. Or if you're listening to the recording, put it in the comments. Share the wins and the successes. Always something to celebrate. Sometimes it's a learned activity, and we have to teach ourselves to look for the good because there's always, Tony Robbins says, what's going wrong in my life? That's there. I can focus on it, but so is the stuff that's going well. It just depends on what I focus on. Laura, you came off of mute. You want to share something, or are you just off of mute?
Well, none of it is positive, but I think I finally figured out there's a lot of things I need to cut. I couldn't figure out why, where, how. It was irritating me, and I played around with some numbers and I kind of realized, well, my budget and my spending isn't out of control. If I had no debt, I would be right in line with all the percentages. Oh, that's why it's not working.
Thinking debt.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
going to help me figure out, oh, I can cut. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not just spending money like a fool. It's because I am spending normally on top of the debt I already have.
Yeah, that's a good, powerful realization, right? Awareness is powerful. But it's frustrating, right? That's why I say ignorance is bliss. But if it wasn't for that dang debt, I'd be okay. So it's just I got to heal the past. I got to free myself from the anchors of the past. I'm going across the lake, but my anchor is still down in my boat. I got to get rid of that stinking anchor. I could go a lot faster. Okay, so I'm in a temporary stage where I've got to maximize, like you said, mathematically, I've got to increase my income and decrease my expenses. Temporarily reduce the lifestyle so that later on when I'm debt free, I can turn back on the lifestyle at a sustainable level. So that's powerful learning. I'm glad that you came to that realization and that bravery. I honor your bravery, Laura, to say, I'm going to figure this stinking thing out. What page is budget? Well, it's just a mirror,
I
right?
said a
That's
lot
the
of
other.
bad words behind the scene, but I guess we'll just okay now.
Just mute yourself and let it out. We're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. There's a step in there for you, for me, and for every one of us. So let's dive into that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so it's July. Wow, how the heck did we get here? Didn't we just do the January topic? Nope, it is July. We are halfway through the year. So tonight is your mid-year money reset. We're checking in, right? I don't know if I don't check in and know where I am, I don't know if I'm late or if I'm lost. If am I on the right road? I don't even know. So tonight is a lot of it's about awareness, and we're going to complete some additional. We've already done some already. We're going to keep going. So I want these group sessions to be very impactful and not just informational. I don't want it to be a lecture. I want it to be an interaction and that you leave with action steps, homework, right? My mother and all four of my grandparents were all teachers, so I believe in homework. And that's where we make the progress is when we apply the principles. We go from information to application to achieve transformation. And so hopefully tonight it gives you a little bit more of that. So let's go through some information. Let's just kind of move in because we are going to be short on time. Okay, we're going to talk about two layers tonight in those frameworks and everything. You can see we go deeper and deeper into to really get at the root of the problem and not just hack at the branches. Okay, so layer one, we've done a bit of that already. We understand, hopefully we now know our 6 financial stages. And we might be in stage 1, that crisis mode where the debt is growing, where I'm holding on super tight just to break even. I'm in that survival mode, stage 2. Stage 3, I'm in stability, right? I have a little bit extra every month because I cut my expenses or I grew my revenue, my income, so I have a little bit extra, that margin. It'd be again as a review of stage 4, that's growth mode, stage 5, security, where 6 is legacy mode, where I'm building my wealth and I'm giving generously. That's where we all want to get to eventually. So you've taken the quiz or take it again and learn and make sure you know what stage I'm in. All right, let's now build on that. What's layer 2 is the 5 checkpoints. So we're going to do some quizzes tonight. So either get a pencil or a paper or get your phone out or some mental notes to go through the 5. So we're going to ask some questions. And you can put them in the chat. You can share it. There'll be invitations to put them in the chat just so that we're we're participating with the community. And again, it's you don't have to share anything you don't want to. This is a safe place, and we just know that you're not alone. Whether you share it publicly or not, know that you're not alone. And we're all at different stages. We're all working through this together. But we're going to find out the health of every dimension of that financial life, that financial pillar. We're going to go a little deeper into it. We went wide and we saw all 5. Now we're just going to go deeper into the 5 checkpoints of that financial pillar. You can do everything right on the foundation and still be stuck, right? Because a broken checkpoint elsewhere is quietly limiting everything. So we're going to get some awareness tonight to know a lot of things of, okay, where do I go? 2026 is half over. So there's still time to make it a successful year. And tonight we're going to do a couple of those assessments. The 5 money check, we're going to do that one first, and then the checkpoint assessment. All right, so pencils, pens, phones, whatever you want to do to answer these questions and keep track of the answers. So here's your 5-question mid-year money check. So answer them honestly. You can put them in the chat or your notebook or keep them in your head. Those ones are harder to remember. Honesty is the key. Don't answer what you want them to be, answer what they are, because that'll help you to know where you need to go next. All right, so question 1 of the mid-year assessment. How's your budget doing? Right, the stage first financial or order of operations, create and live a budget. So how is it doing? Is it a real running budget or is it just a guess? A real budget means both. Every dollar is assigned before the month starts and actuals tracked against the plan. So if you only have one or neither, you're just estimating. Now, something's better than nothing. I'll give you that. But estimating beats nothing, but it's still not budgeting. I've had many clients who are like, I just kind of average. Like, that's not a budget. If you didn't change something on your budget for July, you're not budgeting. You might be copying and pasting. This is what allows last month, copy and paste to the next month. This month will be different. Every month is different, especially in the summer. There's more expenses, more travel, more gas, more travel, eating out, whatever. Lots of activities. Neighborhood barbecues. There's always something, potlucks, whatever. Your budget needs to be different every single month. Some people hate that. Like, it was hard enough to make one. Well, I had to make 12 of them? Yeah. So think about your accuracy benchmarks. How accurate are your amounts, your categories? Are you missing things like, whoops, I forgot about that Amazon was coming through today, this month. I forgot my registration. Okay. So some arbitrary kind of benchmarks. Are you under 70%? Maybe I'm struggling. Am I stable? Am I successful with my budget? Rate yourself. Here's the question. Rate yourself on a 1 to 10. How are you doing with your budget? You're welcome to put it in the chat, come off of mute, or write it down yourself. The point of this is that you know and you have some takeaways after this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how is your budget doing? Question number 2. What is your emergency fund balance today? Maybe I got to pull up my phone and look it up. That's okay. I may not know all my numbers, but if you have access, do find it. What is your emergency fund today? You need to know the actual number, not just a guess. Oh, I think it's around this. Nope, know your number. Not what you planned, what's in the account. So are you in 1 to 3 months of expenses? Are you in 3 to 6 months worth of expenses? Are you below 1 month? Okay, then that becomes your number one priority. You got to get some Murphy Law insurance, right? Your AC goes out, you better have an emergency fund, right? Do that before you do your extra debt payments, the debt snowball, or investing. Your emergency fund is that Murphy Law insurance. So, are you on target, above target, below target? Is it not even started? You can put the chat or answer in the chat, write it down so you know how well am I doing. Okay.
Hey Brian, I'm sorry we
Yeah,
had an interruption. How do I
no worries.
score myself on this one? Is it between 1 and 10?
Good
Or
question. Not on this one. It's more, am I above target on bottom one down here in the green bar? Are you above target, on target, below target, or not started? Some of these will be quantitative answers. Some of them will be qualitative answers, numbers versus the feelings or the how do you feel? Are you is it where it needs to be? Is your on your emergency fund? 1 month, 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months. And this is an interesting topic because everybody's different. Some people say, I want 9 months of expenses. Why? Because I have an irregular income and it's a roller coaster. Okay. Sounds like reason why. Or I'm in a highly risky, I get laid off every year. Okay. You might want a longer or a larger emergency fund. Some people have shorter. So they're like, in my industry, I can get a job again tomorrow. So I'll have a 3 month or two, whatever. I don't usually recommend less than 3 months. All right, question number 3. Do you know your debt-free date? Is there a date? I didn't know you could do that. If you're debt-free, it was yesterday, it was in the past, right? Most people, that's a happy date. That's a celebration anniversary I was my debt-free date. But do you know if you're in debt, do you know your your debt-free date? Now, a very simplified calculation to give you a very rough estimate, at least something's better than nothing, right? Just take your total debt. I have $37,000 of the debt. You divide that by your monthly debt snowball payment. So that's all your minimums, plus your margins, your extra. I finally got to the point where I lived below my means and I freed up $100. What are you gonna do with that $100 after your emergency fund is at least the $1,000 is there? Then you put you put that $100, the extra from your budget, onto your debt snowball. So all of my minimums plus that 100. So Laura, this is right, debt snowball, right? If it wasn't for those stinking debts, I'd be fine. So how the heck do I get out of debt? Debt snowball, extra money onto the debt onto the minimum payments. That becomes your debt snowball. So you take your total debt divided by your total monthly payment. That means that equals your monthly or how many months is remaining. Now I told you it was oversimplified, and the nerd in me has to give you the disclosure that doesn't count your interest, right? So not all of that, every dollar of your snowball payment is going to principal, unfortunately. But at least it gives you a good idea. And there is a way I can show you that will give you your exact date by including the interest, but that's going to take longer than we have to explain, and it takes a Excel spreadsheet. So, but if you are a one-on-one coach, your coach has it. You probably have it. If you're one of my clients, you have the debt snowball, the debt accelerator calculator, and that will tell you your exact date. But for oversimplification purposes, do the math and figure out what is your debt-free date. And you'll have, okay, mine's 37 months from now. Okay. There you go. 3 years and a month. You'll be out of debt by August of 2029. Some people are in it and they're like, wow, I'm going to be out of debt in 2032, 2029. It's not right or wrong. It's just this is where you are and this is how big of a mountain you have to climb. Here's the big question. Has it moved since January? Eesh. Has it gotten shorter? Then celebrate that. If it's gotten longer, there's your second half of the year target. Move it back. Hustle. All right. That date is not fixed. You can change it. You can get out of debt as soon as you want, as soon as possible. You don't have to go on their timetables. What's a 5-year loan, Brian? Yeah, pay it off sooner. All right. But know your debt free date, not just your total amount. This is a different way of looking at it. When will you be debt free? All right. Question 4. Remember in January when we set those financial goals, those New Year's resolutions? What are they? Are they still around? Right? Can you still remember what your January goals were and compare them to where you actually are now? Are you on track? Then good job. Press harder. You are very unique. If you still have them and you know where they are and you're ahead of pace, you're unique, my friend, which is awesome. If you're behind, that's where most people are. That's okay. But name the reason. The 3 most common reasons, well, life event absorbed the margin. My AC went out and that slowed me down. Okay. You'll always have an attributable cause, but know the cause, right? Success leaves clues and opportunities sometimes leave marks. Maybe a habit slipped. Maybe my priority order was wrong. Okay. Now it's not right or wrong. It's just a history lesson. We're just assessing ourselves. So in the chat or write it in your notes. I just was checking the chat and Evan put in a question. Sorry, Evan. Let me get back to that. It says, this is just personal debt, not including the mortgage. Yes. Back on the previous page, knowing your debt-free date, that would be a good, great question. Don't put your mortgage in there. Otherwise, it's like 27 years later. That's really depressing. It's there and we're going to do it, but it's not that, right? That step where it's the get out of debt. There was paying off the house, but that was down lower. We'll focus on the mortgage debt, but we got to do a few for other things in between. So good question. Not your mortgage. Don't put your mortgage debt in the debt-free date calculation. All right. So January goals. Are you on pace? Are you behind? Did you totally forget? Again, this is just a self-assessment and look in the mirror. And the final question, is your momentum building or is it fading? So the good news is that fading is reversible. It is not permanent. So if you felt low or you felt like, oh man, life is just kicking me in the head lately, there is a way out of that. And fading, you can build that momentum back up, that motivation, the energy to keep trying. So give yourself a score on that one. Not really a score, but an assessment. Are you building? Are you holding? Is it fading? Okay, so here's the answers of the summit. So you have all your answers together there. So how was I doing on my budget accuracy? Am I struggling? Am I stable or am I successful on a scale of 1 to 10? How am I doing? How's your emergency fund? Is it on pace? Is it ahead? Is it behind? Your debt-free dates? Right, that's your trajectory. Is it shorter since January? Then that's great. And if it's longer, then that's what we're here for. If you didn't even know that, hey, at least you got that from the night session as we now know that it's August of 2029. I never knew that. It's just a date. Now you can change it. Review your January goals and check in on your momentum. Just a history lesson. It's just a current state. It doesn't define you, but it allows you some information. And now the question is, what are you going to do with that information? How will that change your rest of the year? And maybe having this glimpse in the mirror might say, you know what, I am going to reconnect with that goal I set at the beginning of the year. Or man, I didn't know that's how long I was going to be in debt. Wonder what would happen? It's fun to play with the numbers. What if you put an extra $100 on that? What would that do to your debt-free date? What happens if you have a life event and you put an extra $1,000 on your credit card? Yeesh. Right? That goal can get closer or farther away based on our behavior and the events in our life. All right, let's do this one quickly. And we're watching the time and want to make sure we're getting through this as well. Okay, so let's talk about, again, all of these different things. Don't get overwhelmed with the information. It's just the point of tonight is to pick something and do something about it. So maybe you got your nugget, your gold nugget on the in the 5 questions. Let's go through this and we'll give you some additional things to think about. The 5 points that are deeper into that financial pillar. So think about your financial foundation, your budget, your emergency fund, your debt snowball. We kind of talked about that in the previous questions. That's the operational core of your plan, and rate yourself. This one is only 1 to 5, so these ones are numerical. So on your financial foundation, a lot of that stuff we just talked about, on the overall 1 to 5, where would you rate yourself? There's some ideas there in the numbers, the 5 or a 3 or a 1. My budget erratic, or is it I'm very stable and I'm successful in my budget? The snowball is hitting its monthly target. Right? 1 to 5. On the income and career, think about your income. Your income is Dave Ramsey always says that your income is your greatest wealth building tool. Is it growing? Are you being paid what you're worth? Do you have an earning strategy for the next 6 months? So think about in the summer, you think about fun vacations and opportunities, experiences, which is very appropriate, but it's also an opportunity for an income sprint here in the summer. You can set, maybe I'm going to work extra hours. I'm going to get a side hustle. I'm going to have a garage sale. I'm going to make some money this summer. So maybe I do a specific target, extra dollar amounts that I want to have in a snowball. I had a client like, yeah, we found all this money. We're just going to have a big garage sale. We made all this extra money. That's great. You just did an income sprint. You can cut a year off of your debt timeline, right? So think about what are you going to do in the second half of this year? Rate yourself on a score of 1 to 5. How's your income and your career going right now? Okay, this is a big one. Relationships and communication. This is one of the most underestimated checkpoints in the framework, and the one that quietly is costing families the most momentum. Now, if you have a spouse or a partner, ask yourself and rate yourself based on these questions. Are you having regular money dates? Are you genuinely aligned and you have the same emotional commitment, not just the same plan on paper, and then we go our separate ways? Is there any dead weight in the financial relationship? On the single, if you're single, right, that rate your accountability, your community and coaching, or is it still directly affect your execution? You can have money dates with yourself. You don't have to have a spouse or partner to have a money date. The point of the money date is to review your numbers and celebrate and adjust. How is that going? Emotional dead weight. In when it comes to this category, we could spend an entire evening on this topic. If you have a spouse or a partner, or you're helping, you're working with somebody on this together, and when every time you talk about money, it seems like you must be talking. It feels like we're talking about something else. We're talking about money, but it feels like we're talking about something else. Or every time I think about money myself, my mind goes somewhere else that's not really money related. There might be some dead weight in the past, that past experience that is coming out in your money. Money doesn't create character. Money magnifies character. So if I have a struggle in other areas of my life, it might be showing up in my money. I've helped clients through that to unpack that, to identify. Yeah, every time I got in trouble, the way I sued was Target and the credit card. And anytime I got stressed, it was Amazon and the packages would show up. Right? Money, retail therapy is a real thing. Is it about the money? No, it's about the stress that I'm dealing with. I hate my boss, and every time I get in an argument with my boss, I buy a new pair of shoes. No wonder you have 100 pair of shoes. So that dead weight, we got to heal the dead weight and free up that emotional baggage, and all of a sudden your money will fix itself. So that's a deeper topic. Reach out, and I'd love to be able to help you with that if you're sensing that is a challenge. All right, to talk about mindset and behavior is a big one too. This is deep. How do you talk to yourself about money? Are you celebrating your successes, your progress, or only your payoffs? You only celebrate payoffs, that might be a long time between celebrations. You could be celebrating every day, every payment, not just payoff. And are decisions driven by intention or only by emotion, habit, and availability. There's another one we could spend all night with is those tools, the truths and the lies versus the truths exercise. I'll quickly give you a overview of that. Is when you have a thought in your head that is not helpful. This is never going to work. I'm always going to be a debt. I can't get ahead. My spouse won't connect with me over money. It won't work with me, right? You have these negative thoughts. You write it down. You first got to catch the thought. I did this exercise. It took an entire hour with this client because we needed to go that deep into his thoughts. He's like, I don't have any of them. Yeah, you do. Yeah, let's dig into that. Like, tell me about this. Oh, I'm just so tired. I can't do it. There it is. You write down those negative thoughts. I catch them. I write them down. And then you write two positive truths that directly combat that. I'll never get ahead. Your two truths. I'm trying and I've never given up. That directly combats the lie and the negative voice, the inner critic in our head that says, why try? You're never going to get ahead. I can do hard things. Like when I finished my college degree, or I got this promotion at work, or I whatever, right? You're coaching yourself. You catch the lie, you refute it with two truths. It's like having an inner bully. What do you tell your kid about a bully? You're like, you got to stand up to the bully, right? In the professional way, it doesn't mean to punch him. I got a bully in my head. How do I combat the bully in my head? Counter evidence. Prove him wrong. Shut him up because you can't do anything right. I paid off all this debt. I can do hard things, right? And you directly combat that. Again, I would love to spend an hour on that topic. Wish we had the time. So rate yourself again. How's your mindset and your behavior? And then finally, protection and the planning. The most neglected checkpoint. So watch your insurance. You're so focused on paying off debt, you forgot to protect what you're building. So do you have term life insurance 10 to 12 times your income? Do you have a current will? Are your beneficiaries matching what your actual intentions are? Did you update them recently? Are they even there? Do you have disability coverage if your income stopped for 6 months? So am I protected? Do I have that planning risk? Again, rate on the score of 1 to 5. Okay, so hopefully you have them up, add them up. Now we can see how well did I do on that quiz of 5 questions, 5 possible points. So total out of 25. If I'm 20 to 25, I'm operating at a high level. Good job. Right. So what do I do in the second half of this year? You maintain and you accelerate. That's that growth mode, right? Accelerate through goals. Push your strongest checkpoints harder, and even a 4 can become a 5. Now, if I'm in 14 and 19, I got some strengths, but maybe there might be a clear bottleneck that you might see in your numbers. Again, this is just a mirror. Don't hate the mirror. Use it. So maybe in the second half, I can take that lowest scored checkpoint, and I'm going to focus on one thing, specific action in every week. Just do one little thing, tiny habits, tiny steps, baby steps to growth. Now, if I'm below 14, okay, probably got a few checkpoints that I need to work on. Now, don't get overwhelmed and so I got to fix all of this. No, one thing at a time. Don't try to fix everything at once. Just fix one checkpoint and then move to your next one, and you're just raising them, strengthening them. So that lowest scoring checkpoint is possibly your bottleneck. Weakest link determines the chain's strength, so fix that weakest link. Now you could look at it numerically and say, I got a 2 on this one. That's my weakest one. But you might have one that you have a 3 on that you hate more. Like I'm doing well, but I hate that even more than the other one. A 3 over here is more stressful than a 2 over there. Okay, focus on that one then. It might be a numerical bottleneck. It might be an emotional bottleneck. Heal the bottlenecks. Watch what happens to your progress. So here's your action plan. Like I said, I believe in action. Application is what leads to transformation. Information is not enough. We live in an over-informational world, and yet we're not getting better as a society. So put it to use. Put it to work. So get it done before August 1st. Here's your homework for this month of July. Review the last 3 months of actual spending. Go to your budget, look at your bank statements, look and see what you actually spend. Not what you planned, not what the budget column. Look what happened, your actuals. Your consistent overages are your data, right? There's your mirror. I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, show me a man's checkbook and their calendar, and I'll tell you their priorities. So where are you overspending? What are your money leaks? There might be something there, emotion or mindset or something or habits or something's there. Let's focus on one of those and let's plug that money leak. Homework 2, update your debt list with every balance with the interest rates and then recalculate your debt-free date and write it down. Write down that new number. Watch it. Are you getting more or less? And every time you do something good, like, hey, I had that garage sale and I had an extra $250. What'd you do with it? Oh, I put it on my debt snowball. Calculate your new number. How much did you take off? Maybe that 2 months of hustle, it might take 3 months of debt off your back. Might be worth it. Step 3 or homework 3, action plan 3 is set one income target for August, a specific dollar amount, a specific source, garage sale, side hustle, DoorDash. I'm going to work extra time, overtime, whatever. Assign it to a specific goal. Know before you go, what are you going to do with that money? Is it going to just go to more consumption, more spending, or now it's going to build my emergency fund? Going to kick off that one last debt. It's going to, whatever, right? Have a purpose for it. Action 4 is schedule that money date. Whether you have a spouse or a partner or single, doesn't matter. That money date should be happening every week. So text your partner, say, hey, honey, you want to go on a date with me? Oh, yeah, where are we going? The kitchen table. What? Can we talk about money, please? Right, see what comes up. Maybe there's some emotions. There's some dead weight that I mentioned before. So non-negotiable, right? That is a must-have. We got to talk about our money. We're not on the same page. Now, there's a whole topic around that we can talk about in a future session about how to bring things up. It's a history lesson. It is not a blame, shame, judgment, or defensiveness time. I coached one client. Her husband would not come to coaching, would not come to our sessions. He thought everything was fine, and every time she brought up money, he was out of the room. Just would not talk about it. So I had to coach her on how to bring it up. Just make it a weather report. Oh, by the way, it's 90 degrees outside. Wow, right? It's not right or wrong. It's just, oh, by the way, we have this much money in our checking account. And as she started to do that, it normalized money. It was a safe topic because previously money was not a safe topic for that couple. So we got to talk about it. Even if you have to do it by yourself, there's still ways you can make progress. And step 5, write down December 31st. What do you want by December 31st with specific numbers? What does the end of the year look like for you to execute? Make it real, make it concrete, put some numbers to it. What do you want to accomplish? There's 6 months left. The year is going to go by whether we like it or not. So let's be intentional. Let's create the year we want. The rest of the year, right? 2026, still got a few months left. All right. I know it's short on time, but I do want to make sure. Are there any questions? Thanks for putting one in the chat, Evan. Any other questions in the chat or come off of mute? Anything from what we've talked about tonight? Is this helpful? Too much information? I'd love feedback. How many tests did we have to do tonight? I took fewer tests in school.
I'm not doing as well as I thought.
Okay. What do we do with that? That's the critical. Do not go into shame or blame or it's just information right now, Laura. Right? This is an opportunity to catch the lies. Like, oh, you're never gonna. It'll never work out. Write it down. Write the 2 truths. I didn't finish this one. After you write down the lie and the 2 truths, you take the left side of the paper with the lie and you shred it. You throw it away. You burn it. You rip it up. You destroy that. It teaches your brain that is not the truth. That is a bully, and I'm kicking him out. And it reprograms your brain. Like, wow, it's bigger than I thought. Okay. Don't let it demotivate you. Let it hopefully motivate you to keep going. Thank you for sharing that. Anything other feedback or anything any ahas for you tonight? What was your gold nugget that you got out of tonight's conversation?
A reminder how important it is to get my wife to show up to the budget committee meeting. So I will work on that.
Yeah. Make it fun, right? If it's just always takes me to the woodshed, I don't want to go there. I'm going to avoid that conversation. So it's just a history lesson. It's just a weather report. This is where we are. Focus on the dreams and the build, what you're going to build together. And her dreams should be reflective in the budget as just as much as yours. But yes, it is critical. Thank you for sharing that. Anything else? Any other gold nuggets, aha moments from tonight's? What are you going to take away? Hopefully you've got some and take them with you and ponder them before you go to bed and set some goals and write some things down. Push yourself. Life is what we make of it. Out of those 5 pillars, right? Spend some time and make it a good month is my encouragement for you. If there's anything that I can do for you, please reach out. I'll see you in the next session. Look forward to thank you for taking the time to be here this evening. Appreciate you being here and your participation. It makes my experience better and gives me some homework to do when I go home tonight before bed as well. So thank you again. It's an honor to be here and wish you the best luck this month. And I'm ready to share your successes next time because I'm going to ask you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
My pleasure. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.